So India was where you grew up.
Yep. Born and raised, man. Born and bred.
Where in India?
Gujarat. It's like a small, I mean, not small. I mean, so I grew up in a small village. But Gujarat, I mean, the easiest way to describe it, it's like the part that juts out.
Yeah.
Right in the map. So it's just like central west.
Yeah.
Right? It's predominantly all farmland. Right. I mean, that's what Gujarat is comprised of, or used to be comprised of.
Yeah.
Now it's everything that's there. It's just, it's been a while since I've been. So, and even when I go, I'm not like, I wonder what's going on. So I go see my family, I do the weddings, and then I'm back.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I do want to go spend some more time there because it's completely shift from, 30 years ago.
I know.
Right?
Well, what was the place you grew up like? Like, what did it look like?
So I always use a funny analogy, especially like we're at a, like a bar or restaurant or like in, a conference or area, whatnot. And most times there's usually 50 to 100 people where we're at. And especially having a conversation with somebody, it's like, I was like, where did you grow up? I was like, there's probably about same amount of people that I grew up with in this room,
This was my whole town.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was spread out. It was about like a 10-mile radius, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so it seemed very, very big. But I mean, there was just a handful of families that kind of just stayed there for generations. But, if I had to peg it, I mean, I would say around 100, but 150 on the high side for sure.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, that was my world.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you could run around for free.
Yeah.
Like, and your parents wouldn't know. I mean, they wouldn't care. It's like, oh shit, is my kid gonna get abducted? Right?
Yeah,
It's just like
wasn't even in your mind.
Yeah, it's a small, big community.
Yeah. What was a normal day in the life? Like, what were you doing in a given day down there?
Oh man,
because you were going to school probably.
Yeah. I mean, when I wasn't terrorizing people, and normally
running around.
Yeah, I mean, in my early
ding dong ditching people.
It's like, I know who you are. Yeah. We don't have ding dong.
You could be one of like 10 kids.
Yeah, exactly. But like the earliest memories I have growing up, right, is obviously walking to school, right?
Okay.
When we talk about poverty and kind of what impoverished environments here are, I was like, not really, man. You talk about, running water or running power or automobiles, right? None of that stuff existed.
That's crazy.
Right, growing up. Like, to me, it was just, it was, how would I best describe it? It's like a camp. Right.
Oh, interesting.
Like here,
yeah.
like if you went to a
summer
wilderness,
camp where you walk to the to the waterfront, then you walk to the amphitheater, and then you're
like, oh shit, we gotta cook. I don't know. Let's go hunting or something. And like it sounds really archaic and ancient, but that's that was my upbringing, and it was awesome, right? I mean, it was freedom
for sure,
in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like back to our roots of how how humans came up,
Yeah. Yeah, and I've said this, I think, too, in over the years, is that, that itself has given me, I think, my strength, right? Ability to know really where I come from and what it's really like to be on the flip side of the coin and have opportunities. So everything that I get to enjoy, right? I take a really good pride in it because
for sure
that's still very apparent in like my foreground. It's not like, oh, whatever. I mean, I'm gone, but like that was my upbringing, right? I mean, that roots you. That's who you are at your core.
I mean, was it like all hands on deck in the family to get stuff done? Whether it was like, farm related or chore related or like.
Yeah, so I went to school, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I would go to school in the morning, and then
would that be similar to like a young, American kid going to school where it's basically all day?
No, dude. I mean, yeah, it's all day, all day thing for real. Yeah. But I mean, I recall leaving the house around 7:00, right? And there were certain parts of, the year where I would have to probably go earlier, because I was pretty stupid as a kid, so I had to get extra tutoring,
Gee, now you got to get walking at 6:30 a.m.
Exactly. So you got to go to the principal's house so he can tutor you.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Yeah. So the principal, I mean, like, dude, it's 150 people, right? So everybody's related somehow.
That's just fascinating to me of thinking about like this on that scale. Like it's just such a different dynamic.
So the principal is my dad's uncle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, and like, so I had to be the best kid. Like I had to do the best. If not, I would get my ass beat constantly. Hence, I
Uncle's
got thick
coming
skin.
over for
Exactly.
some extracurricular activities. G.
So, I'll walk into school, going there, prayer in our culture is a big thing. So
That's
like
right.
things would start with prayers. And then it's not like you hop from class to class. I mean, from my kindergarten to 5th or 4th grade,
Yeah.
it was literally probably shit. I don't even have to describe it. This is what about?
This is like 1,500 square
1,500
feet.
square feet.
This whole thing.
My classroom was about 200 square feet, if that.
No way.
Yeah. And
So
all
your
the
whole
kids sat on the
school
ground.
was like in a building this big.
I would probably, this building
Yeah, this
itself
building.
for sure.
Yeah.
And that was from like 1st grade to 8th grade.
This whole like
yeah,
So
the whole building.
damn.
I mean, granted, we had a
Yeah.
lot of, outdoors area.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
from
yeah.
a classroom setting standpoint, I mean, there was a chalkboard, and I can't even recall. I think the teacher had like a chair that she could sit into. There's like a table.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we all sat on the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah, and then she would write stuff on, and then we would have our chalkboard slates, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's no paper and pen.
Yeah.
So like we wrote it with chalk, and then like that's where you did your work, and that's what your homework.
Yep.
And then you kind of showed it to the teacher.
Whoa.
There was no like books.
Now, did you take the chalkboard home and you'd have to like scheme up some stuff overnight and bring it back in, or was that all?
No, I mean a lot of the work. Actually, now that I think about it, we didn't have that much homework because I would just goof around afterwards, right? It's like I don't recall having
Yeah.
much homework at all because like the teaching was pretty intuitive and like it was all taught to you. It's like so.
Yeah.
I don't recall taking homework back home.
No.
Yeah.
But were you learning? Was the subject matter of the classes similar to like what your kids are going through?
Hell no. No, 0%. I mean, I think math is really enforced,
Yeah.
right? Math was a big, I still recall.
Yeah.
Because when I moved here, I didn't know English worth a shit.
Yeah.
So I traded my math homework for my English homework. Because like math is really like, I mean, I think I was
Hustling on
probably
the
doing
school bus
yes.
with the homework.
So here you go, do my spelling stuff. But I mean, so it's like we really got taught. I mean, a lot of math in school, and I think history was a big component of it as
Oh,
well.
interesting. Yeah.
But science and all that stuff doesn't really start coming until middle grade.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, math is like really
The focal point.
focal point.
of what
Like
you
so
were
now I
doing.
think about it, I was like, I never really thought about it until now. I was like, oh shit, no wonder we're always good at numbers and math. It's like it's
That's all
drilled
they're
into you at a
feeding.
young age.
6 hours of multiplication tables and addition.
Yeah, that's right.
with kids.
That's right. God forbid you get one wrong. The duster's coming to your head.
The principal's going to tell daddy because
Mm-hmm.
he's at work with it right now. So then after school, I mean, outside of school, was it pretty relaxed or were you doing other things as a part of the community?
So for most part, so we would have a break at around 1:00.
Yeah.
So then it's not like they have cafeteria and lunch.
No.
So you have to walk back home.
There you
right?
go,
So I'd say
yeah.
probably my house is mile and a half.
Yeah.
But like as a 6-7-year-old kid, that's fucking far.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd have
You
to
know?
do that round trip twice a day.
4
times.
Or
a day.
round trip twice a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
go to school,
Yeah.
leave for lunch, come back,
Yeah.
and then go back home.
Yeah.
And God forbid if you have to take number 2. You know what I mean by number 2, right?
Yeah.
Take a shit.
Yeah.
You have
had
to go home.
You had to thunder instead of rain.
You have to go
Thunder
home.
was a home
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah. You could only go pee at school.
Yeah.
Because like there was not like plumbing in place.
Man, can you imagine kids today would
I
be
can. It sucked, dude. Like you have accidents.
Yeah, but kids today would be doing that all the time. They're like, I'll see you guys in 2 hours. I gotta go home.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
I mean, and
Yeah.
also like sometimes like they're like, no, you should have gone when you went to lunch.
Yeah, hold that thing.
Right?
Yeah.
So you should have came before when you came from home.
That's right.
It's like you can go at lunchtime.
Yeah.
So no, that won't work.
You got to do the waddle the whole way home.
It's bad, dude.
Yeah. Man, that is so fascinating how that's different.